Once you're hired,
Okay.
you don't have to do anything, you just show up.
Oh, good to know.
Take it around.
He may not, he will most likely, possibly not.
Yeah, he's at the mercy of the waiting room.
We know how that goes.
Some travel.
All right. Let's call this meeting to order, and we'll start off with the roll call. Bonnie Lawrence.
Here.
Kari Kohlman. Peggy Brotzke.
Here.
John DeAngelis.
Here.
Chris VanBelle. Here. Carol Brown.
Here.
Bill Marquardt. All right. We have 5 of us. We have a quorum. Carol, would you start us with a prayer? And then we'll go right into the pledge.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for our country. Thank you that America is a republic and free people. It's unfair and the rights that were given to us by the government to protect us. So we ask that you be with us today, give us discernment and wisdom in the library business.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did we have any additions, deletions to the agenda?
Yes. Two things. On the agenda, at the on the back of it, it says our next meeting is going to be on April 23rd. But when we had our printout for the whole year, it says April 16th. So
You're at the right one.
yeah. Why or whatever.
Yeah, well, it looks like April.
It's a week apart, so
Oh.
that's why I'm wondering why we,
I think it would be the 16th. That is the third Thursday of the month.
but I wondered, is there a problem?
We have to correct it.
I think we
Is there a
should.
problem at your end though? Not for that. Okay.
You're right.
The date is wrong, okay, so that'll be the 16th. And then I also have another correction, and it has to do with the finance report. So, last month, there was a mix-up on the check numbers, and Teresa just told me about it this morning. So, at last month's finance packet, it would be a correction for the payroll checking online bill pay. The check numbers that we originally had were PC 2402 through PC 2411. Those were incorrect. And Teresa discovered it when she was double checking things. The new check numbers, it was the same amount, it's just the check numbers that need to be corrected. The new check numbers are PC 2415 through PC 2424. So that's a correction from last month.
Right. Excellent. Did we have any additions or corrections to the agenda? Do we have a motion to approve?
That's correct.
Yes, corrected.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
First public comment? Oh, sorry. I'm getting ahead. Can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
For the minutes, there's on the back for, where we sign, it says Kari Kohlman chair.
Last month.
Last month? Good, and you'll get that corrected. Thank you.
I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda with that change.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now the public comments. I'll get set up for the timer.
Rhonda Laura from Oregon Township. Good morning. I recently had a conversation with a librarian from the Flint Public Library about our ongoing problem here with the LDL Board majority condemning and wanting to censor books that they haven't read or don't understand. To avoid this very problem, the Flint Public Library book removal forms include the following questions. Did you read, view, or listen to the material in its entirety? I would hope our trustees would be honest and answer no, especially when librarians, teachers, and people who have read the material can tell that you haven't. Another question, what do you think is the major theme or intent of this work? Uh-oh, this is tricky for non-readers. You better search online for some book banning clip notes. Or maybe you could just answer honestly. This book has LGBTQ plus characters like Maya Kobabi and genderqueer, who you don't think straight people should know about. Or maybe these books feature beautiful black characters like George Johnson and All Boys Aren't Blue, who came from a loving family, navigated homophobia and racism to become a successful and well-respected adult. Here's another question on the form for people trying to remove books. Would anyone else, for any reason, find value or merit in this book? You have to answer yes, because every month we're here explaining the importance of books depicting the experiences and thoughts of queer people, black people, Latino people, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, and other non-Christian people. Or maybe you don't respect the opinions of people who aren't from your particular church congregation. Maybe you respect them so little that you think they don't deserve to have books in the public library we all pay for. Maybe you've already judged us and decided we have no right to be part of society, as stated by board member Kari Kohlman in her Teenage Slumber Party podcast, MK Ultra. And here's the kicker question from our library friends in Genesee County. What might be the result of being exposed to this material? Let's see. Readers learn about other people, other cultures, other histories. They may even learn what their parents taught them is false. They may learn that there are more than one way to live. They may even learn enough to go to college and have a roommate who is queer or black or Jewish and not find themselves labeled a racist or bigot by their peers. Or maybe they don't read these books at all. Maybe they internalize your fears and never learn to empathize with anyone outside their Bible study group. Okay, that's their choice not to read, but it's not my choice, and it's not everyone's choice. And I believe this board majority should not have the right to make that choice for others or take that choice away from others. Free people read freely. Thank you.
Do we have anybody else for public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna work. Okay, all right, I was hoping to welcome Ms. Bannister, but apparently he is out of town. I heard this poem the other day and I found it unbelievably beautiful, and I thought I'd just read part of it to you. It's by Andrea Gibson. Imagine when a human dies, the soul misses the body, actually grieves the loss of its hands and all they could hold, misses the throat closing, shy, reading out loud on the first day of school. Imagine the soul misses the stubbed toe, the loose tooth, the funny bone. The soul still asks, why does the funny bone do that? It's just weird. Imagine the soul misses the thirsty garden cheeks watered by grief, misses how the body could sleep through a dream. What else can sleep through a dream? What else can laugh? What else can wrinkle the smile's autograph? Imagine the soul misses each falling eyelash waiting to be a wish. So the reason I selected that is that I heard it and thought it was just amazing. She is a poet laureate. She happens to be the gay community and has struggled with some of that. More of that poem talks about an issue with suicide, which we know that people of the LGBTQ community have struggled with at times as they're coming up and recognizing what their sexuality is. So again, reinforcing some of what Rhonda said, I hate to see that removed from the shelves because we disagree with it. Speaking of that, Mrs. Brotzke, I didn't want to casually refer to you as Peggy Brotzke because
That's fine.
okay. I've noticed a couple times you asked at the school board meeting and then at the last meeting you asked Jan Watts about how many books the Friends donate to the library, and you asked that about books that might come into the high school or middle school libraries. And I'm sure they go through a vetting, they're looked at carefully. And Jan Watts is such an excellent human being. I mean, it must be exhausting to be so suspicious of like the 5 books that they donate to, the Friends donate to the library every year. But I just thought I'd point out that I thought that was a very leading question, maybe making some people suspicious of their intentions. And again, to reiterate what Rhonda said, if you read a book about a bear, it doesn't make you a bear. And if you read a book about somebody from the LGBTQ community, it doesn't make you gay. And the same is true if you read that poem in its entirety.
Susan Lloyd. I stopped at DeAngelis Library last Saturday for the birthday party for my week. DeAngelis, the staff did a fantastic job. I hope some of you also managed to show up and support the staff there. I think we all agree that libraries should be accessible to all. I think books in the library should be accessible to all. Why should some readers, mostly believe like you do, most of you believe, why are they given preferential treatment? Why are patrons come out to read LGBTQ, transgender books, or even sexy books be noted because they look up and be checking out books with warning signs on them. You may not approve of their choices, but they are free to make them. Who is going to be labeling these books that you all want labeled? Are you going to take an anonymous website? Are you going to take an AI-generated website that maybe just searches for words and books? Are you going to read all of them? Who's going to make that decision for this library? Patrons can take out books in the library for 3 weeks. So if somebody takes out a book that you deem inappropriate, it's checked out for 3 weeks, 17 or 18 people will read that book in a year. If they bring it back in 2 weeks, 28 people will read it. How many times will those same people be exposed to questionable material on the internet? Perhaps you should be spending more of your time on that. It is much more prevalent than library books. My other comment is, I would like to know what your goals, plans, aims are for the LDL library. We have a director now, and all I hear at these meetings are your objections, questions about books with sex and gender in them. Thank you.
Can I do it from here, or do you want me to podium?
No, you're fine.
Ken Townley. I was at a city commission meeting the other night, and I watched Ms. Brotzke, berate commissioner, about the way he talked to somebody when he just didn't want to be talked to, apparently. And I will point out she was very vocal, very loud. Everybody in the room heard her. I just wish she could do the same when she's participating in meetings. There was a finance meeting here this morning. A couple of us showed up. A couple of us ended up dragging our chairs up and sitting right behind everybody to hear what's going on. If she would be as loud at meetings as she is when she's berating somebody for what they've done, and I mean, she's been just as rude to people that want to speak to her about library issues, you guys better take a second look at it. And I got a scary thought for you. My township at one point asked me if I would be interested in representing us on the library board. Aren't you glad I told them it was too big of a cluster to deal with?
Do we have any other comment?
Is this the first one?
First public comment. Do we have any other public comment? Moving on. Treasurer, bills to be paid.
Yes. I'm going to read out the check number and the amounts. So this is from our last meeting until today, February 20th. There's another typo. It says February 20th, 2025.
I will make sure.
Whoops. 2026, okay. February 20th, 2026 to March 19th, 2026. This is from general checking. The date started March 1st. Check number 15924 ended on March 10th. Check number 15936. The total amount was $16,208.65. That was general checking. The next one is general checking online bill paid. And that was from February 20th till March 19th of 2026. Check number GC4762 and ending up with GC4794. The total for the online was $13,221.09. So adding those two accounts together, the total general checking was for $29,429.74. The last one is the payroll checking. That was also from, and here's another typo, February 20th, 2026 through March 19th, 2026. Starting in February with PC check number 2425, ending with PC check number PC 2433. The total amount on the online bill paying was for payroll $118,700.37. So when we add up the three accounts, the total spent in a month, the grand total is $148,130.11.
You need a motion for this? Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the finance report.
I'll second it. With the date correction.
Oh, with the date correction.
And we have a second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now moving on to the finance report.
Basically just,
Okay, let's go. Did we have any unfinished business? That,
There's nothing
no,
else.
yeah. And there's no new business listed. Our director is away, as we knew what happened when he was hired. Assistant director report.
So you'll notice that it's a little shorter this time because we have mostly just been doing our Polaris Go Live. So we have had 2 migration meetings since then. I have been working with Stephen on various projects. He was also really great about before he even started getting some of our paperwork. So he's been, Teresa have been setting us up since February. So whether it's payroll stuff or the different branches, staffing reports, he's been getting all of that. So we went live on Polaris on February 26th. I consider it a pretty smooth transition. Like I talked about before, this was complete Valley wide. There's about 30 libraries in Valley. And we have a tracking where you can talk to them and see what's going on. We were one of the lucky ones. There were some libraries that had major issues. We did not see any issues with patron checkout, staff being able to get into accounts, anything like that. So we also have a new app that is now live. Patrons did have to switch over into that, but that took about a week afterwards to get it going. But they are live on that. We are live on the website, so that is up to date. They are actually getting ready to roll out a new website for Polaris in April. So that is going to have even more updates on there. I haven't seen what that looks like, but that will be coming in April. So as soon as we kind of got settled with that, last week we started our printer installation. So we lease our printers for 10 years. The lease was up in December of this year, so the printers came in and we started replacing them. We did see downtime Monday. So Monday was DeAngelis, admin, and Elba. Next week, Monday and Tuesday are the 5 other branches divided up. We did see downtime on Monday at DeAngelis. We had about, it was most of the day where the patrons couldn't print. Because it's not just as simple as something to print your computers. We do InVisionWare, which is like software that works with the printers, the patrons put their library cards in. So it took a little bit to get InVisionWare connected to the printers. But that ended Tuesday. We got all that set up. And then yesterday I redid the coin out machines at DeAngelis, which are the only branch that have coin outs. So that is all set too. The only issue right now we're continuing with is a staff side issue. Patrons shouldn't even notice it. Instead of patrons just prints going right to the printer, it's getting stuck somewhere and staff has to release it. But again, it's an easy fix and maybe take it in the future. So I anticipate the branches next week being much simpler because they don't have the coin out machines. Those coin out machines are incredibly old and most places don't have them anymore. So it took them a while to get them hooked up to the big machines. So 5 branches next week and then we'll be all set with that for another 10 years. So we had a meeting this week for some reading planning. So we can plan to do the Tuesday, Thursday lunch on the lawn at DeAngelis again with performers outside, and then the various branches submitted their programs for here as well. So, any questions on anything? I did want to mention too, you may notice in your packet you didn't receive a stats report for the month. It is because of the Polaris changeover. The stats we could pull the stats from Horizon, but they would have been not what was really going on. So Alexis is working on one. So next month you'll have one for February and March.
Thank you. And we have our newsletter, report, no one else. All right. Second public comment.
Excuse me,
Yes.
sir. I
Yeah.
just wanted to report.
Oh, okay.
I should have let you know ahead of time.
Thank you.
The president wasn't able to be here today, so I am subbing for him.
Thank
My
you.
name is Susan Beal. I'm a prior president of the Friends of the Library. Wanted to let you know that we are occasionally doing pop-up sales. This is something new for us, but it's quite successful. We had one in February and we got $1,000, almost $1,000 in one day sale. Our annual general meeting is the next event that we were hosting, and that is this coming Sunday from 2 to 4 at the meeting room at DeAngelis. So we would love to have board members there and the public as well. There'll be some refreshments, but mostly it's information about ways to be involved with the Friends of the Library. And then our next regular sale, which is longer than one day, is April 1st to April 4th. That's a 4-day sale, Wednesday to Saturday at CFI. And I know that it is at CFI, the Center for Innovation. And the times on Wednesday and Thursday are 10 to 7. And then Friday and Saturday are 10 to 4. And so and they have differing prices as the sales go on. The last day culminates with 15 items for $2. So, thank you.
Can I ask you a question? Are you still don't you do your donation day? Is it always the first Saturday?
Second Saturday.
Oh, the second Saturday.
That
Okay.
was-
I was thinking it would be on the same day.
Okay. And that's why we did just a 1-day sale in February, because we're tied to the days that there's no school. If it's a weekday. And that day, the school had off Friday, I guess for Valentine's Day or spring, whatever. And so we had a donation day on Saturday and we had the sale on Friday. Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gigi. I've been a member of the Friends for about over a decade now. And it sounds like there's some confusion about what we do when it comes to book donating. Traditionally, books come to us. We are not sending books to the library. We probably get 5 books to the library a year. The most books I've ever seen donated to the library has been through our yearbook project, where the library has been requesting certain years for the missing yearbooks. That is the most I've ever seen, and that was probably like 7 that I found when I was working on my project. We are not in the business traditionally of giving the library books. Librarians, they may be missing a book or 2 from their collection, and they will ask us if we see that book to give it to them, or they will come to us if they need a particular book sometime. That's pretty rare, and it happens maybe 5 times a year. It's not something that I've noticed as a member of the Friends for a very long time. Granted, there are people here who have been on the Friends, like Jan, Susan longer, they could probably tell you more. But just as an observer on the Friends, that is not something we're in the business of doing. So if there's some confusion there, I would suggest talking to people who know more about that before doing anything.
Is this public comment time?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure, because you didn't announce it again, so I thought you should ask.
Yeah, I was about to, but I saw somebody was up to speak.
That's okay.
Sorry, I thought that was announced.
I wasn't sure if Gigi was speaking for the Friends or for the
No.
public, so
Sorry.
I just thought I should ask first. I'm Susan Hall, I'm from Metamora. When the LDL trustees speak about books that they think should be reshelved or restricted or removed, they're often using terms like age-appropriate, community standards, pervasively vulgar, and sexually explicit. These terms have very specific meanings in terms of libraries and censorship. Some of them refer to legal standards, which can only be applied in courts of law. They can't be applied by you or me or a friend of the library or an LDL board member. An example that's bothered me lately is a board member in the community saying that over 90% of books on an advocacy site are sexually explicit and not flagged there because of their viewpoints. It's an advocacy website. They don't get to make the legal determination as to what's sexually explicit. If you take the time to read the titles, and if you take the time to review the excerpts they're showing, and if you read any of the books yourself, you will find that many of them are LGBTQ, IAP+ books. Not all sexually explicit materials fit the definition of harmful to children
And I think that's been the main concern that's been expressed on this board, is harmful to children. So you don't want to mix those terms up. When that happens, it's very misleading for the public, and I think it's unethical for board members to use these terms out of context, particularly because there is a perceived authority by the fact that you are LDL board members. So I've asked that you be very careful with that. We did put a glossary of common terms that people will be hearing on our website, which is Fight for the First Lapeer. People can find that easily online. For those of you who are here, there's a QR code. I know Peggy will probably want one back on the table so that you can go directly to that glossary and see some definitions of those terms, including the MCL information on some of those terms. Thank you for your time.
Leslie Getz, Nathan Township. When I was at the library on Saturday for the Marguerite DeAngelis birthday celebration, I looked through the new book section where I like to select my books to check out and read. It's still pretty sparse. I thought that book orders had been approved and that the library was back on track to be fully stocked, so I'm wondering why the shelves look so bad. Perhaps, a lot of people just check them out, but I wanted to investigate that.
Hi, I'm Melissa Naka, former director of the Paris Library. There are just a couple things I didn't think you knew about the last few months. I don't know if you have taken any board training yet. I know I asked about it a while ago. I would recommend you do. There's a lot of it online, so you can look at it from home. Michigan has a series of programs, and I think that United for Libraries, which is a branch of the American Library Association, also has, I think, really good. And if you went to a friends and trustees meeting in Michigan, you would meet other trustees. But I think I would also like to mention the ALA Code of Ethics that was very precious to me when I was and I would check things against that when, I was doing something or somebody else had done something. There is no teeth to it. There are no teeth. But it is recommended that if you look at it and realize that maybe something you did or thought or said would be against that code of ethics, you may want to take place the next time, just to make sure that the library board is looked at as above board. And the other thing I would like to do is to repeat Sue Moy's question about your objectives, your goals for the library, what you might want to do for it and to it, and certainly meeting of the trustees, you would get ideas for maybe some new program or something that you haven't thought of before. Thank you.
I live in Metamora, and I had to take the day off from work again without pay to be at this meeting, just like I have been doing every month for a while. When you guys moved the meetings to 10 a.m., you said you would take a look at the numbers and maybe revisit that later, because you didn't believe me that most people, the vast majority of the working population, is at work right now. We got about 15 members of the public today. That is way down. These meetings need to be in the evening, and they need to be in Lapeer. I heard right before the finance committee meeting, I just was setting up cameras and overheard some talk about, should we move it to Mayfield? Well, should we do that this year? Should we not? We've already moved it a bunch. Move it to Mayfield. And if there's a cost for Mayfield, you know what? I will personally pay it just to reduce everyone else's driving time. This is, like a lot more miles for me to get up here. It's ridiculous. It's harder for people with disabilities to get here. It's harder, this building, guess what, that button out there that's supposed to open the door in case someone with a wheelchair is here or somebody needs the door open, isn't working. I don't think that bathroom is ADA compliant fully. I think it's partly, but not fully.
This is a ridiculous location that we're way out there. There's also the Lapeer Township Hall. There are all kinds of options in Lapeer. And you guys didn't visit that because you want to make it difficult and you want the public not to be here. All right, so Peggy's been out in the public talking about how there were personal attacks at the last meeting. And, maybe she didn't mean what I said about Kari Kohlman's podcast. But in case she did, that was actually not a personal attack. Kari was speaking as a member of this board, as chair of this board. She did not distinguish personal opinions. She spoke as a member of, or the chair of this board. She colluded with a member of the public. That is a possible OMA violation, which, by the way, Susan Huff can't make an OMA violation, Peggy, but Kari can because Kari is on a board. Susan is not part of the government in that case. So whether it's not an OMA violation or not, it's certainly ethically wrong what she did. The things she said about the public, the things she said in general, the hate speech in her podcast, Haji's, all the hate speech about trans people. It's disgusting. Her just repeating and going in all in on these conspiracy theories she believes. It is frightening that she's a member of our government, our local government. And that many of you respect her, and you made her the chair. It is what she said about vaccines, AIDS, autism, all the SIDS, not AIDS. It's scary. Carol, you ended last meeting by talking about a spiritual battle, that we are in a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Government is a spiritual battle? You're bringing your religion into this so much, which you should not be. This is a nonpartisan board that is supposed to be separation of church and state, even though a whole lot of people are Christian nationalists now and don't believe it. A lot of you are out in public. Thank you.
I actually have a slightly different perspective than Ms. Pashenko. Often in the argument over, I'm so sorry. I can help her with it. Often in the argument over whether or not it is acceptable to ban books, those who support banning books have expressed a sense of moral superiority over those who support free access to information. At times there have been religious overtones to the discussions, suggesting conflict between good and evil, the light and the dark. At the last meeting, Ms. Brown stated, the battle that we have is a spiritual battle. The implication of this was that she and others who support banning books are on the side of the light. However, the accuracy of this suggestion is questionable. It's unclear how suppressing the rights and freedoms of others on the basis of not agreeing with their views would be considered good in any sense of the word. I find it difficult to understand how someone can believe that what they're doing is in the service of the light when their actions are as follows. They seek to invalidate the ideas and beliefs of those with whom they disagree. They seek to deny the humanity and rights of anyone who doesn't act in a way that they consider appropriate. They seek to other Black, brown, and queer people, as well as demean and dismiss their lived experiences. And on a broader scale, they seek to eliminate First Amendment rights for anyone who doesn't think and look like they do. Why would this be? Because they genuinely view as inferior, as less than, those who don't fit into what they believe the world should look like. And this includes children they profess to want to protect. But what they mean by protect is control. They might respond by telling me not to put words in their mouths, that this isn't what they're saying. But what I'm basing all of these assertions on is their actions, as these do speak louder than words. Repeatedly, they've denied that books with racial and or queer content are being targeted. But repeatedly, in looking at the books that are being demonized in both the LDL and our school libraries, almost all deal with racial and or gender issues. Clearly, the desire of those who want to ban books is to silence certain voices. Then there are those of us who believe in freedom for everyone, even those who disagree with us. We're the ones fighting for everyone in this world to be seen and heard. To book banners. This world is not yours to rule. It belongs to all of us. And all of us, including those I don't agree with, deserve love and validation. We need a world where all of us are valued.
One where we're encouraged to add joy, not judgment. So when we speak of the battle we have as being a spiritual one, I certainly agree. Nevertheless, I think there are those who need to reevaluate what side of the battle they're actually on.
Do we have any other public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on. Board comments or requests for information, Carol?
Lot to say today. First of all, I want to remind everybody who speaks in public time to state your name and your township, please. Few of you did not do that. Also, we keep being accused of doing book banners or wanting books removed. I personally have never said I want books removed from the library. I said I don't believe in that. I want them in the appropriate place, Susan, I think she loved, for children. If they're in the adult section, I don't have a problem with that. If an adult wants to check out the book and let their children see it, that's their personal choice. But a child till they're 18 years old should not be seeing some of these obscene books, in my opinion, and a lot of other people. I'll have to check out our Constitution and stuff about that. Keep saying someone on our board tried to remove a book. I've never tried to remove a book. And you keep saying I'm against LGBTQ plus persons. I've never ever said I dislike LGBTQ people or people who are different than me or people who have a different religion. You have never heard those words out of my mouth, and I don't like being accused of that all the time. And somebody asked if we had any training. I'm doing online training now, Melissa, just so you know. And I've enjoyed watching the videos I've watched so far, learning a lot. And yes, I agree, or I said, we are in a spiritual battle. Don't take that out of context. I wasn't just talking about the library. The whole world is in a spiritual battle nowadays. And if you don't know that, then or agree with that, that's your choice. A lot of opinions have been stated about the board members, and I think that nobody's come and talked to me about anything. How do they know what my opinion is? So I don't appreciate being accused of things that I haven't said or thought. Please come and talk to me. If you want to know how I feel, I'll tell you. I guess that's about it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Peggy? John?
Yes, I have a couple of things. The Stephen Brady issue at the commissioners, I was there the week before, and Stephen Brady screamed at Commissioner Petrie like a maniac at the top of his voice right after the meeting. Peggy pointed that out in a nice way. But of all people, to talk about people being rude, my friend, you're rude constantly. And then also about the meetings being at 10 o'clock in the morning. They're at 10 o'clock in the morning for years. One of the biggest meetings we ever had was our first time when we changed it to the American Legion, and we had it at 10 o'clock. We had a huge group there. That's all I have.
Yes, in honor of St. Patrick's Day this week, just a quick Irish blessing. May the Irish hills caress you. May her lakes and rivers bless you. May the luck of the Irish enfold you. May the blessings of St. Patrick be with you.
Thank you. And I have no further comments today. All right. Do we have any motions to adjourn?
So
They say, it's there is not. She goes, there's no way the sizes. I understand.